Hey, what's happening? How are you, Ward Wrestling Live? I'm here with an amazing wrestler. If you don't know, he is deaf, so we will be doing everything by paper today. However, if you don't know who he is, his name is Roger Stewart. He's a three-time USA Wrestling Virginia Freestyle and Greco State champion, two-time Virginia Junior National Team, fourth place Sunkist International, 2005 Senior National All-American, three-time Master National Champion, 2008 Senior Grappling World Team, 2000 Regional Olympic Qualifier, 2008 Senior Olympic Team Trial, three-time USA veteran, 2005 Deaflympian, and a lot more. He's here with us today. Hi, Roger.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I'm going to share with the world your story.
Okay.
So I'm here with Roger Stewart, and one of the main things that he wants to talk to everybody about is the importance of growing deaf wrestling. There are a lot of deaf athletes out there that he has been around and he's been supportive of, and he's trying to help grow that community. So first of all, Roger, tell us, what is the importance of growing deaf wrestling?
The importance of growing deaf wrestling is to bring everybody together. For example, with me, I grew up in the military, my parents' military. I played soccer most of my life, and then I moved to America, and then I picked up wrestling. I never thought I would wrestle, but then my first wrestling coach, is Jeff Humphreys for Wakefield High School here in Virginia, and got me started. And then I fell in love with it when I socialized myself with other hearing wrestlers, and I just kind of watch. So the more I interact with the hearing wrestlers, I felt were all the other deaf. Um, so I wanted to see how I can help. So over the years, I've been wrestling, mostly in the hearing tournaments. And then I'm always wondering, is there another deaf wrestler in the same tournament as me? So yeah, there's some, but at the same time, I'd love to see like a whole group. So then went to college. I went to Old Dominion University, and then I was coached by the greatest coach of all time, Gray Simon. I'm pleased to learn a lot from him. I'm pleased to be part of the program, and I'm grateful. So then I started researching for Steph Wrestling, and I noticed they had Steph Olympic trials, Steph Nationals, but then in the past, I never saw that before. Wish I did when I was younger. So then I got brought out to Colorado to train at the Olympic Training Center, and I met Coach Rob Valapondo, who's a national level coach, gold coaches, and he passed away a long time, and this is his jacket I'm wearing. So every time I compete, I'm always thinking of him because he brought me up. He trained me. He showed me where the rest of the deaf wrestlers are. So from there, I just went to most of the tournaments with deaf wrestling. So now I'm hoping I can bring that to USAW. Don't get me wrong. There's been a tremendous, awesome job with USA Wrestling because we had.
This is what he's talking about now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're getting into. I was just telling them I was just telling everybody what you were talking about.
Okay, okay. Um, my first deaf wrestling tournament was in Pocatello, Idaho, with Rob Valapando. Not only that, there was Kids Nationals through USA Wrestling. So you had deaf here, hearing here, so both sides can see each other to see how cool you got the deaf wrestlers. Da, 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 da. Deaf wrestling's been around for a long time. So if many not know who Marty Willigan is, he's one of the deaf wrestlers from Hofstra University. And believe it or not, he went to the NCAA finals against Dan Gable. So
Wow.
the Dan Gable won that. So I'm sure it was a good match between them two, but at the same time, we need more. So for me, I I felt like I was the only one, but I cannot I cannot say that. I'm sure there's other deaf wrestlers out there. I know I've competed with a few deaf wrestlers growing up in nationals, deaf Olympics, but where are they? So, yeah, some probably got burnt out, some didn't. So, question is, what's important? It's important to bring both sides together. So many people, when they communicate with me and they introduce me, they always say Paralympics. No, I never did the Paralympics. I did the Deaf Olympics. Or they might think Deaf Olympics is affiliated with the Paralympics. It's not. Deaf Olympics is under the umbrella of the U.S. Olympic Committee, and it's under USA Deaf Sports Federation. So, bottom line is, what's important? What's important is to bring both deaf wrestlers into the bigger culture.
And how,
The deaf wrestlers that could benefit from that. Yes, there is. I'm sure there's many other deaf wrestlers. Question is, where are they? When I go to youth tournaments, I'm introduced to a few coaches, few young deaf wrestlers. It's awesome, it's great, but then they disappear. So it's hard to find. So, example, like in Maryland, Maryland is the biggest state with deaf wrestling. Very many support in Frederick, Maryland. Awesome. There's one kid, I can't remember his name, but I notice his name when I go to tournaments. And wow, he's phenomenal. He's awesome. So I'm excited to see him do big things when he gets older. Because right now he's on many hearing club teams out in Maryland. And I've met him once, twice before, and I'm hoping I could meet him again. Are there clubs that support deaf wrestling? Yes, there are clubs that welcome wrestlers with different ability, not disability. It's different ability. So some club may have a blind wrestler. Some club may have a paraplegic wrestler. Some club may have a deaf wrestler. So yes, there's clubs out there in the country that support deaf wrestling. So with me, it needs more. Like there's probably two, maybe three deaf, but I feel we need like say we need like a high school deaf wrestling club. For example, like model secondary school for deaf in Washington, D.C. They have their own high school wrestling team, but do they have their own club deaf team? So there's nothing wrong with going to clubs. Because any wrestlers, anybody, any age, any woman, females, doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, you're always welcome.
Sorry, I'm writing something down.
It's okay. It's okay.
I had everything written, but you make me think, and then I write more.
No problem. No problem. I play sports against. Ah, nice. Nice. Washington, D.C. Cool,
Yes.
cool. It's like how you did.
Oh, something close to your heart.
The guy that let's just say I pray that Guydat University will reinstate the program. I know it's a good program. I know that for a fact. It was a D2 wrestling program or D3 if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's been going on for a long time since Marty Willigan was a coach. It's been going on since my Deaflympian coach was Jeff White and Todd, all of them. Because they went to guys that they were phenomenal, they were awesome. But then, to believe it or not, I really wanted to go to Gallaudet when I graduated high school. But then it's an art school. I'm more a business person, I'm more of an engineering person. But then I really wanted to wrestle. But then I ended up at another university that had wrestling. They dropped it, and then I transferred. So I wanted to keep my feet wet. I wanted to keep doing something sports wise, keep my mind going. So if Guy that kept the program, oh yes, I if if Guy that kept the program and I had enough eligibility, I will go back and finish my eligibility in wrestling. I don't care how old I am.
That's awesome.
I hope. Thank you. I hope they bring it back. I know many other colleges is being dropped, coming back, dropped, coming back. Um, I'm sorry to hear that Fresno State dropped the program. I'm praying for Coach Steiner out there in California and his family. I know he had a lot of ideas and thoughts about wanting to build a program. It's an amazing program out there. Same thing with Stanford University. So many colleges shouldn't drop it. Same with my university, Old Dominion. Uh, They shouldn't drop it. It sucks, but um, we are not in control. I mean, the only person in control is him. So all we can do is help each other out, just pray, and hoping we have enough support to bring all college wrestling back.
Yes, I like it. Someone asked a question.
Okay.
So I'm writing down a question for you. Somebody asked Mr. Stewart a question, so I'm just writing it down so he can read it.
Okay. Who is the idol and has had the most impact on you? Who is the idol had the most impact on you? Huh? Ah, well, one is my grandmother who raised me to being the person that no matter no matter who what they say, don't let it destroy you because once it destroys you, it will always follow you. So she's my idol because I couldn't find my way out the door. There's so many doors, and I always blame people. It's when I was younger. I always blame people, but I never blame myself. And I realized that if you blame yourself, you know you made the mistake to learn from it, and it will make you stronger. Not only that, she was more of a believer. So I share this to many of my athletes. If you believe in yourself, then that person that coaching you, mentoring you, raising you will always believe in you. Um, so since then, I found two, three close coaches to that believed in me because I believed in them, which is why I was able to improve so much in my career. I'm not the greatest, no. I would lose some, I would win some. It's okay. So I would say my late coach, Rob Valapando. I would say Buddy Lee, who, ah, he taught me so much about wrestling, about jump roping. And then I would say my parents, mom and dad, they tried so hard to raise me, especially being in the military. I would say my first high school coach, Jeff Humphreys, my club coach, Roy Hill, Brian Hazard from Robertson High School. I can name names, and
So many, right? So many.
yeah, my brother, my sister. I mean, my brother, I look up to because believe it or not, he went to UVA. Um, he, I never thought he would follow me, but I guess he followed me for wrestling. He went to UVA, and that made me
Did
happy.
he wrestle?
Yeah. So I have a lot of people, but then again, like my grandmother says, keep keep your circle small and keep believing in yourself, and then others will believe in you. How do deaf programs get involved with youth tournaments? How do deaf wrestling get involved in tournaments? We need more advertisement, advertisement. Right now it's just a word of mouth, or social media. So with me, I'm still active, no matter how old I am. Um, I'm always doing camps. I'm doing clinics. I'm doing private training. And anything I can get my hands on to help other deaf wrestlers. If you're in Texas, I will come to Texas School for Deaf. I will teach you. If you're in Colorado, I will go to Colorado School for Deaf. Anywhere. So the best way to get involved in tournaments is to go to your state wrestling website, because most of them have the website that discuss tournaments. Or if you want the national website, I will go to usawrestling.org, and that has most of the tournaments there too. Um, my goal is to host a deaf tournament. Again, how many deaf programs are there? Huh. Programs in school or club?
Either or. You don't have to be exact, just about.
There is, I'm just gonna guess numbers. There's probably over 100 or 200 deaf schools.
Wow. And do they all
All grade level.
have wrestling?
Some do, some don't.
Now, do you want to add wrestling to all of them?
If we could, yes. I've coached one deaf high school and middle school. That's in Colorado. Colorado School for Deaf and Blind. I was grateful. I mean, it was amazing until they had to follow the program because of numbers. So it's okay. Like I said, we're not in control. It's just a matter of getting them interested in the sport. So it's not hard. You can't control the kids. I mean, they either have to like it or they don't like it. So, back to how many programs? There is 5 deaf institution. When I say institution, I mean colleges. But there's 5 deaf colleges. Um, you have RIT, New York. They have an amazing lesson program, and I think it's still going. Guided, lesson folded. This is Institute in Texas. There's a few in California. Now, there is about 6, 8 different deaf high schools in the nation. You have 2 in California, 1 in Texas, 1 in New York, 1 in Kentucky, 1 in Maryland, 1 in DC. And 1 in Virginia. Sorry. Yes, 1 in.
That's your home, right?
Yeah. So it's like I've been to high school deaf nationals. Well, it's not high school deaf nationals. It's the deaf prep nationals. It's always hosted in Indiana at Indiana School for Deaf, and they have one of the most phenomenal program out there, and that's being run by Jeff. I forgot his last name, but he's one of the most decorated wrestler I've met. He's been to Deaf Pan Am games. He's been to Jeff Courtney. That's his name. Jeff Courtney. That's his name. I mean, oh God, he was teammates with Matt Hammer. So back in the late 90s, 99, they went to Pan Am games. They won the gold. They went to Deaf Wars. They won the gold. I mean, it's out there. They're out there. What are you doing now? I'm eating and sleeping and getting fat. Right now I am a volunteer EMS firefighter. I'm also a active personal trainer, and I'm an advocate for the community in the area when it comes to deaf. I'm always keeping my eyes open to see who I can talk to. I'm also I was a assistant coach for Georgetown Prep for 2 years, where I coached Keontae Hamilton,
Nice.
and it was amazing. I had a good time. Um, so right now I have my own travel team, my own club. It's called Ground Up USA, and 2 years now, running good. So basically, I just take the kids that want to wrestle, so that wants to travel and compete. It's tough. It's tough. I'm the only one running it. I have a few coaches that help, few parents that help. Most of the parents, some of the wrestlers, they're always eager to learn science. So I'm always signing to them, or trying to coach and sign. So it's amazing. So I'm just running my own travel team, my own club. No matter what, if it's 3 wrestlers, it's okay. If I have one, it's okay. If I have 15 kids, awesome. Chad and you are putting on clinics. Chad and you are, yes. So Chad, lastly, and I are putting together camps and clinics across the country, and I'm hoping I can grow deaf wrestling. It's not only for deaf. I don't want nobody to get confused. It's for anybody. Went to high school with a blind and deaf wrestler. His name is John Du Bois, and I would never forget how strong his grips are. He's very, very good. So again, it could be for anyone. But yes, Chad is going to be calling and speaking to other coaches to see if they want to have a camp. I believe a few is set up already. I'm just waiting for a good date and time frame to make it happen.
Awesome.
Will you try out for summer Deaflympian? ah, ha. There's, there's been many, many, many talks. Um, many thought I was done because they look at my age. It's a number. Um, yes, I am going to want to compete and try out for the next Deaf Olympics. Yes, I missed the last few Deaf Olympics. Um, it's tough. It's tough. Like it's not the same as the Olympics. It's not the same as the Paralympics. I mean, we have to ourselves um fund our own money out there. So that's what I mean when it comes to USA Deaf Sports Federation and USA Wrestling. Come together. Let's work together. Let's see how we can send this amazing athlete out there with us. We can't we can't fund the money and train at the same time. Because we have to focus on our training, keeping our mind off the money piece where we really are hungry for that gold medal. So for some people it's different. Like for me, I was so focused on my wrestling, but I had other supporters that helped me raise the money to go to my first Deaf Olympics with no problem. And then same thing with the Veterans World Championship. I had support from people to help me go to Georgia to compete in the World Championship last year. So I'm hoping and praying that when next year comes for the Deaf Olympics, we could shake hands with U.S. Olympic Committee, USAW. Hey, look, we want to help you, but at the same time, you have to help us. So, with USA's Deaf Sports Federation is their own federation, their own committee, their own organization, which is fine. They're just under the umbrella. They still get support from USAW, US Olympic Committee. Great support, awesome support. I have to thank Rich Bender for all of his support and all of his good work, and I'm amazed by him. And but there need to be more. Like, how can I help deaf wrestling be involved? How can people support you?
Can.
How can people?
Sorry, can. I put can. Sorry, man.
Okay. Um,
There we go.
people people can support me by I have my own fan page on Facebook. It's my first name, Roger Stewart, Greco-Roman Wrestling. You can always find me there and just support me there. I have my own Twitter page, um, Deaf 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 Olympic there. I'm not that hard to find, and I'm all over. I'm on social media. You can
Awesome.
always ask Chad. Chad is the main guy now to handle all that for me.
And to help you grow, right?
Yeah, to help me grow and to grow the deaf wrestling community. It's oh boy, I've been talking to Matt Hammer. He lives in New York. He's doing awesome, taking care of his family, teaching MMA, teaching wrestling at his own club in New York. That's awesome. I have uh Jeff Courtney. I think he lives in Indiana. He's doing great himself. It's a few kids. Um, the names can't come to my head, but if we can come together and show more and see if we can bring more medals with the Deaf Olympics, I'm telling you, back in 1999 or 2001, I believe, that's when Jeff Courtney and Matt Hammer and many others, Baca from Colorado with Coach Rob Balapando, that's when the deaf wrestling was on fire. That was when it was it was I have a lot of stories. I mean, I picked up on it because I did a lot of research and said, really, wow, it's so cool. So let's get that back. Like, was it 2007? If I'm not mistaken. I was excited for Team USA when they won the world championship in Greco-Roman with oh boy, Spencer Mango, Lindsay Dorlacher, Steve Fraser, um, these Coach Mamir, um, Joe Betterman, all those guys. And I was grateful enough to practice with them at the Olympic Training Center. It was, yeah, I get thrown here and there. It's okay. I'm just learning. I mean, I trained with Joe Betterman. I've competed with Spencer Mango and his brother. I learned so much. Yeah, I lost. It's okay. I learned and learned, and just to see the difference. And without my hearing aids, they understood. I just have to watch. I just have to use my eyes and see what's next. So I have to rely on them sometimes and use my body to feel on the technique. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed to train with those top guys.
I love it.
Waffles and pancakes. Waffles and pancakes. Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Gut wrench. Gut wrench or leg lace. Gut wrench. Ice cream or cake? Definitely ice cream. Arm drags or arm throw? Arm drag. Wings or strips? Wings.
Wings.
Suplex or head and arm? Suplex. French fries or tater tots? Tater tots.
Yeah. Okay. Last one.
Okay. Quarters or half? Well, I would have to say quarters. Why? Because it was the first thing I learned when I first started wrestling, and my first camp is Wade Charlotte.
Aha. Well,
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me, and this is a great opportunity.
yes, I hope that I can help you with anything. Did I do that right?
You will, yeah. So it's hope.
Help?
Time for hope.
Hope
I
I
can help you.
can help you.
Yep, there you go.
Ah,
Yeah. So
I
thank
love
you.
it. Hey, thank you.
Anytime. Thank you. Thank you.
And keep doing it big.
Always.
Keep being
Always.
strong.